Hey, welcome back to day 16 of Project Me, and recording really late tonight. It's been a very long day of working. It's about 11:30 right now at night. Normally I'm in bed by now, trying to fall asleep, if not already asleep. So yeah, very long day. It's been pretty much all work for the most part. Woke up at 8, got up a little bit later, did the morning routine, got started on work, got cracking. Pretty good day overall. Synthesized all my notes for criminal law, and then I got started on the criminal law assignment due Wednesday. Finished that, most of it at least. I need to cut down on the word count a little bit as well. Hopefully can get that out of the way within the first maybe hour of work tomorrow morning. That would be fantastic if so. Anyways, got that out of the way, went downstairs, made dinner, went back upstairs, started work on the essay. When I say started work, I meant continuing the work I'd already started for the China essay. Good progress on that, really good actually. So I've narrowed the scope a little bit. Before I was talking about security and legitimacy in the Chinese party state and foreign policy, but now I'm just talking about legitimacy. So I cut down about 700, 800 words, which is really, really good. Now I'm only about 30 above the word count. I still have to write a finished introduction and a finished conclusion. And I'm waiting to hear back from my professor on whether a critical discussion is necessary in this research essay. Normally I'd include it regardless because I think it's just a great tenet to have a critical discussion of the strengths, the weaknesses of your article. Because why would you not want to show that you've considered the broader arguments and where your piece fits in it, right? Because essentially your essay is a proposition for an idea, and like any idea, when you throw it out into the open, you have to make sure it's a decent idea, and the way you do that is by comparing it to the existing literature and arguments and seeing how it holds up, right? So why would you not do it? But I'm really tight for word count. And I noticed on the rubric for this essay, there is no requirement for a critical discussion. So I emailed my professor just to confirm that and ensure that there is no requirement to have one for a good grade, because obviously I'm aiming for that A+. So he won't respond, I hope, for a few days, seeing as it is Friday night, nearly Saturday. So I'd be shocked if he did respond tomorrow, and a little bit disappointed. My teacher deserves some break from teaching. But in any case, it's been a good day as well. Also worked on the cover letter in French for an internship in France, or a scholarship application for an internship. So if I get this scholarship, they pay for my flights to France and back. And so part of that application I had to do a cover letter. I made one previously, but then I sent it to a French friend of mine to look it over, because formal French is just so bizarre. It's drastically different than formal English is to English. So very different learning experience for me. So I sent that away, got a lot of feedback, rewrote it pretty much along his suggestions, and just waiting to hear back on the final version now, and hopefully that's the end of that and I can finish the application this weekend. I'm just waiting for someone else to give me a reference letter, and then I can submit. So really close on that front. Would love to get that opportunity to go to France and do an internship there. Ideally I'd work in an embassy, given my passion is for international affairs, but the other alternative is working for the EUISS, the European Union Institute of Security Studies. So more of an academic institution, but it'd be very topical for what I'm studying now and sort of the academia that I am interested in. I'd hate to write papers for a living, but I don't mind dabbling in it, and it's definitely along the lines of my calling. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that is an opportunity and a chance to do something I'm interested in. So that's really cool. Anyways, yesterday was pretty much the same as today, just work. And I do want to I do actually have a funny story. So yesterday I went to my criminology, not my criminology, my criminal law lecture, and one of my friends there, Christina, lovely person. I sat with her. I have so much fun with her. She's always such a blast to talk to. She's so cool, and just if I liked her less, I might be able to say more. Might be able to talk about her more if I liked her less. Just a wonderful person. I always have such a good time talking to her. And so clearly we're having a great time. And actually, another friend of mine who's in a friend group that I'm also a part of is sitting on the other side of the lecture hall. And she sees me talking to this girl. And clearly I've underestimated her. Because she and another friend of mine in that friend group, are very interested in my romantic life. And I've underestimated their interest because, you'll see why, but 9 minutes after the lecture, I walk out, I'm heading home, whatever. 9 minutes after, I get a text from the other friend in that friend group, the one who's not present in the lecture hall, but talks to the one who was in the lecture hall, if that makes any sense. So friend 1 was in the lecture hall, friend 2 was not. Friend 1 clearly messages friend 2, and friend 2 texts me very quickly after the lecture and tries to play it coy, a little bit casually. She messages me, she goes, "Hey, what you doing?" with lots of G's, to drag it out. And I was like, okay, when I got that message, it's obviously not hard to know that there is a bigger play. It's quite obvious. When I got that message, I was debating how to respond. I was like, how do I respond in a way that gets to the point of the matter without being rude? Because I don't want to bandy words for so long. So I decided to just be really brief with my responses, as if I was really dry and uninterested. And I said, "Okay, period, yourself, question mark." And she replied, she didn't even reply how she was doing. She just went, "How are your lectures going?" G repeats in the text message. And I was like, okay, interesting. At this point, I hadn't made the connection between what she wanted and what actually happened in that recent lecture theatre. So I just replied, "Okay, do you want the direct response or do you want the dramatic reply?" And she quickly texted back. She went, "I want the dramatic reply, of course." So I wrote to her a bit of prose, a little bit of it's not, I wouldn't call it poetry, but stylish writing, I suppose. I think I said, "There's an ocean of work between me and peace. It drowns me. I drown me. What difference does it make? I'm drowning." And then I ask, "How are your lectures going?" And she copy and pastes my message and puts it in. And I go, I hesitate to say well played because of the low effort in that, which I suppose is what makes it a well played response. But she goes, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. And that was into that for a while. I was like, okay, so there was no ulterior motive behind her messaging me, because she doesn't message back for quite a while. So I end up going to a book launch for a friend of mine's family. Come back and I see that she's texted me back, and she goes, "I have something to talk to you about." And I go, "What?" And she messages saying, "You'll probably say it's nothing." And of course now she's got me hooked, because now I have to know what she's saying. So I go, "Okay, fine, hit me," brackets metaphorically, because I don't want to actually hit me next time we're together in person. And she goes, "Well, there's this girl that you were sitting next to in your lecture," and I go, "Oh my god." And to be fair, I don't say whether it is nothing, because I want to keep her on the hook. I want to punish her, so to speak, for dabbling in my romantic life. And so I'm putting the pieces together now, and I realised that within 9 minutes of me leading that lecture theatre, within 9 minutes of that lecture being over, friend 1, who was in the lecture theatre, texts friend 2 about what had happened, and friend 2 very quickly sees the message and texts me. Right, and so I comment on this to friend 2 in the text messages, and she goes, yeah, that's funny, but you know what? Friend 1 also sent me a video of you interacting with the person you were sitting next to, the girl you were sitting next to. And I lost it. I was like, there's no way that these two girls are that interested in my romantic life, like purely platonically. Like, we're really good friends, but it's clearly they find some enjoyment out of teasing me, because they both know a little bit about my history with the other girl that I'm still processing some things about. It's just absolutely bizarre. So I told her, like I said, I wanted to keep her on the hook to punish her a little bit for dabbling. So I said, it's probably easier to explain to you both in person how I feel about my friend. And she goes, ooh, in the text message. So just a bizarre situation all round. But yeah, no, me and my friend Christine are platonic. I just have a really good time with her. I mean, she's very pretty, absolutely. And maybe in the future there is something, I don't know. But at the moment, she's in a relationship, and so be it. I'm not disappointed. I just have a good time with her around, anyways. Yeah, for a while I couldn't think, especially yesterday after the conversation, I couldn't think about how to describe how I felt towards Christina. But then I remembered what another friend of mine had once said, which was, referring to someone else, I am platonically in love with them. And I was like, oh, that's probably a good way to put it, actually. Yeah, no, I just have such a great time with Christina. So, anyways, clearly that's come off the wrong way to certain friends of mine. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on to the Daily Stoic with Ryan Holiday. Today is May 10th. Yes, it is. Don't be inspired, be inspirational. This is a quote by Seneca. Forgive me, there's not too much lighting, so if I stumble over words, I apologize. He writes, let us also produce some bold act of our own, and join the tanks of the most emulated. Or join the ranks. See, I called it. I said there would be a mispronunciation. And join the ranks of the most emulated. Yeah, I mean, sounds, be original. Be original and follow the footsteps of the people that everyone else follow as well. I suppose it wouldn't be quite that. It'd be original and forge a path alongside those whose paths are often tread. There you go. That'd be a good reformulation. Anyways, Ryan Holiday's written quite a bit, so I'm going to try and skip ahead to the best part. As orator Demosthenes pointed out, will gladly sit for hours to hear a speaker who stands in front of some famous or sacred landmark, praising our ancestors, describing their exploits, and enumerating their trophies. But what does this flattery accomplish? Nothing. Worse, the admiration of shiny accolades distracts us from their true purpose. Reflect then, he said, that your ancestors set up these trophies, not that you may gaze at them in wonder, but that you may also imitate the virtues of the men who set them up. The same goes for the quotes in this book, and for other inspiring words you might hear. Don't just admire them, use them, follow them, and follow their example. I suppose that's what I'm trying to do by reading out these quotes and seeing these short passages of greatness, trying to apply it to my own life and how I might improve. And hopefully, if anyone else is watching, to their lives as well. Yes, anyways, gratitude real quick. I don't want this to be too long. First of all, I am grateful to my two friends who, despite sometimes being annoying dabblers in my life, are interested in me and care about me. So I appreciate their interest, and I try to reciprocate as much as I can. It's nice having people who care about you in your life. Secondly, I am grateful to my friend Alex, who very generously provided some comments on my essay. Went out of his time to do so, and just grateful for that. It was an inconvenience to him, and he did it anyway. So really grateful to him. And third is Max, my best mate. He's had a really tough time yesterday, just mentally. I didn't get to see him. I did buy him some chocolate as like a pick-me-up gift for next time I see him. Obviously he doesn't know. Oh, the light cut off. Obviously he doesn't know about this channel. I haven't told anyone. Well, actually, he does know about it, but he doesn't follow it. But the point I'm trying to make is that he doesn't know that I'm saying this, but I'm really grateful for him. He's a fantastic person. He inspires me every day. Just a wonderful human being. And I think if everyone had the traits he had, not that we'd all be twins, but I think if everyone had his virtue, then the world would be a far, far, far better place than it is now. But I suppose you could say that about anyone. If anyone had anyone else's virtue, or if everyone had anyone else's virtue, the world would be a better place. Anyways, that will be it for now. Hopefully tomorrow is just as productive and not as long of a day. In any case, good night.